Hello, welcome to Griffon Show on the road again in beautiful Alexandria, Louisiana with KSYL 970 AM. Been broadcasting with them for over 15 years. And our good friends in Alexandria, we are great to be here. Of course, Hickson Autoplex, I want to thank Dallas and his dad and all of his great service people and they do such a wonderful job here. Trust me, I know. When a Louisiana Tech graduate will treat a ULM graduate as well as they do here, they treat everybody good, I promise you, and I'm messing with them. They do such a wonderful job. Of course, Leesville, Monroe, and Alexandria locations. So HicksonHasIt.com, HicksonHasIt.com. Dallas came talk to me, gave me good news and bad news. The bad news is they have a big powwow meeting at 9, so we may not hear from him. But I was hoping to talk about the car business, but they're tied up. But anyway, don't forget to go to HicksonHasIt.com. A lot of stuff out there, the folks that we'll talk about today. Of course, your phone calls on the Hickson Has It hotline, 844-766-6607, Hickson Has It hotline. Now, I do want to mention something. There's so much going on in Baton Rouge that, of course, we're trying to stay on top of it. Nothing's passed. I get a kick out of the honor code, John Bell Edwards, co-governor Darden, and the one-term governor Edwards, constantly talking about, the Republicans hadn't brought together a plan. What's their plan? Well, what is his plan? He hadn't presented a plan. He really hadn't presented a plan. There's been no bill introduced on his plan. They were supposed to do the cat tax last week. They're supposed to do it this week. When did they do it? They haven't done it yet because they don't have the votes to even get that even close to passing. So they have no plan. Bill Edwards has no plan, and I'm begging the Republicans and anybody that wants to listen, just say the budget of 2016-2017 is what we're going to do for 2017-2018. It does no cuts. It does not cut anybody, but it doesn't add anything either. And then we'll find out where our priorities are. And then we know how much money we come in. We can get rid of the revenue estimating conference, get rid of them dudes because they are worthless. They get it wrong 15, 18 times in a row. I mean, they get it wrong. So why don't we go what we know? It's just like you would do at your household when it comes to budgets. When you started January, you knew how much you were making at the end of the year. Unless you got a pay raise that you knew it was coming in for sure, you're living on the same money you did at the end of December. And that's what we had to do. And with the exception, we had a gigantic tick up in healthcare costs for me, which, I've got to do something like make another sale. But I'm self-employed. It's a little bit different, but it's not. I got to still budget my money to manage everything that we need to manage at our household. So why can't state government do that? This is simple. This is so simple, and it lays Bell Edwards and Darden and these people out by saying, we're doing a standstill budget. We're using the same budget as last year. That's our plan, and this is what we want to do. And you just tell Bell Edwards, go take a flying hike. You don't worry about all that rhetoric. Let them cry. Let them cry. If they want to go run to higher ed and healthcare and cry about the cuts, they're not getting cuts. And the healthcare department has been growing by leaps and bounds, 2 and 3 times what unemployment. I mean, not unemployment, but inflation has grown. So there's not a problem here if we handle it right. And I just think Republicans need to do it, but there's a problem, folks. And I'm starting to find out the problem. And I will mention names. There's a gang of 8 or 9 Republican representatives who are hurting us. They're a gang of 8 or 9 Republicans that are very moderate at best. There's a gang of 8 or 9 Republicans that are trying to get along. You remember the thing, Republicans for Edwards? These are them. And I got the names. And I've been knowing this for a while, and I've even brought up a couple of them to you. But I know these people, these are the ones trying to make the Republican Party moderate. These are the ones that are trying to make the Republican Party more mainstream. It's not all right to pass all these taxes. Here's the names of them. Tanner McGee, Representative McGee, Representative Zarang, Representative Paula Davis, Representative Stephanie Hafford. You ready for this one, Brandon? I hope you're sitting down. Representative Raising Taxes, y'all, J.P. Couson. Oh, yeah. Couson's right in there with them. One of these moderate Republicans trying to sway in there, convince people he's a bit conservative. Stephen DeWhite, Jack McFarland, and yes, Mark Abraham, who tries to convince me that he's some kind of conservative. He's not. He's one of the one. He's the leader of the group. He thinks this is the new moderate Republican Party. Okay? Well, we vote like Republicans. Well, I don't want to vote like Republicans. I'd rather them vote like conservatives. McGee, Zerain, Davis, Hafferty, Couson, Dwight, McFarland, and Abraham, and I got a ninth name. I'm trying to get the ninth name. Moraine, McGee, and Abraham and Couson are the four worst. Now, I'm getting this from deep inside the party. These are the giveaways. You want to know Republicans for Bell Edwards? I just gave you 8 names. These are the guys trying to negotiate to be more moderate. Now, did Donald Trump, when did people want Donald Trump to be some moderate? They wanted something different. And let these 8 people who, by the way, if you go look at their record, they voted for some taxes. The worst tax you could have voted for would be the sales tax that they put on us. Because that was the one I tried to tell Couson, taxes, y'all. I tried to tell him that that's the worst vote you could make because they got you. And he tried to tell me, oh, we got them now. No, they got you. But Mark Abraham is the one leading the charge with the middle to left Republicans. And these 8 people are the gang of 8 that want to negotiate and give away the House to John Bell Edwards and Jay Dart. These are the ones. I'm going to find some more. There's a couple more names to bring up to you to let you know. Go stop her, Cornelia. She can't come through that door. She needs to go around. Okay. These are some names. I want you to know the names. I want you to know who they are. These are the liberal Republicans. These are the Republicans. I'm sorry. They can sit here and call my program, call me off the air, and say what they want to. These are the ones negotiating. These are the ones that the real conservatives and Republicans are going, these guys are horrible. These guys are trying to give away the House. That's what I'm being told inside over and over again. These 8, and it's more than 8, but it's these 8 for sure. With Meringue and McGee and Abraham and Couson being the worst. Now, any of these guys are welcome to come on the program, or ladies, welcome to come on the program, whenever they want to tell me their philosophies and all this. But the bottom line is these people are the ones that are Republicans for Edwards, and they're right in there with them because they're somebody, it's not the constituent, it's some money people that have gotten close to them and said, here's what I want you to do, and we'll keep you in office. And that's what I was telling you about Republicans. You know, they're running on this less tax, less. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can find it. I may have to do it at the break. I kept one of John Paul Couson's, I kept one of his brochures with me to promises that he made that he broke right when he got there. And one was that he wasn't going to vote for any new taxes. And as you know, that didn't happen. Mark Abraham tried to convince me he's some kind of conservative because he has a social conservative, good voting record. All right, here it is. If I could print it out and get it for you. All right, dang it, I got it right here. John Paul says right here, as opposed to any increase in taxes, he will fight to shrink the size of government. That's his words, not mine. I'm reading his brochure. Okay? That he's for the hard-working families. He said it. And you got to watch these 8 or 9 people, folks. You know, and he says he's the champion for lower taxes for families and businesses so hard-working families can keep more of their money they earn. That's out of Couson's deal, and he voted for these taxes. He voted for one big one. So if you don't watch these people that I just mentioned, they're going to be the first ones to sucker us. Because I'm reading what he said. I mean, I got his brochure. I've seen it. I've got it. I actually took a picture of it so I don't forget it. So these are the people that are going to raise our taxes. These are 8 Republicans for Edwards. And I just mentioned them. And it's a shame, but Abraham, it looks like to be the ringleader. They tell me he's so nervous down, he's running everybody, trying to tell everybody about his conservative credentials. Well, why don't he prove it this session by voting against taxes? Matter of fact, they quoted him Jim Beam article, which is getting harder to read on a daily basis. Mark Abraham, Republican Lake Charles, sat on last week's subcommittee meeting. He's one of the exceptions in the ranks of House Republicans. He has been around long enough to know what a higher education can do for the state's young people. He says education and economic development go hand in hand. They really don't. They're totally separate things. They're totally separate things. They've always been totally separate. But you see, if Jim Beam is praising him, Jim Beam's praising him because he's pounding on the people that are challenging this. Schroeder echoed the sentiment of other members of the lower chamber, GOP gang of no. But you ain't got to worry about the 8 that I just told you about the gang of no, because they're not gang of no. They're trying to negotiate higher taxes, folks. Republicans for Edwards. There they are. I just named 8 of them. And trust me, they're right there negotiating for them. Let's take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline also today. I was interviewed by my friend Robin and Aaron at Keel Radio. We got that interview on the gas taxes and stuff. We'll play that as well. And we're going to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Of course, HicksonHasIt.com. We're here in beautiful Alexandria, Louisiana. Of course, don't forget Leesville and Monroe as well. And, and I get a chance to talk to Dallas about these taxes and the cat tax just briefly off the air, and he's shaking his head at what's going down in Baton Rouge. He just can't believe, excuse me, with the economy like it is. That's another thing nobody's talking about. Nobody can believe the economy we're in right now is not when you raise taxes. You don't take money out of people's pockets like this. You don't. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen us do. And then again, they amaze me. It's always the dumbest thing they ever do. So anyway, I was interviewed with Keel Radio with Aaron and Robert in the mornings. And, Brian, if you got that ready to go, I want to play what I said on the questions they gave me.
Show weekdays here on Keel from 9 to 11. Hey, Mr. Moon, how are you today?
Ladies and gents, I'm doing good.
You know, I was talking to Aaron last week about the legislative session going on in Baton Rouge right now. I said, in Louisiana, we've got duck season, we've got deer season, we've got different fishing seasons. It's crappie season. Well, it seems like right now in Baton Rouge, we're in the middle of tax season. And you and me and everybody in Louisiana, we're the ones who are being hunted.
Yeah, it's a shame. We got record money coming into the coffer. They've really never had a budget this big since post-Katrina. $2.8 billion more in the budget. And all the talk is that we don't have enough money. We're $400 million more in the hole. And what do we do about the $1.3 billion that's coming in 2018? And it's like it's our fault. It's like it's Aaron's fault, I think. I mean, I think, Aaron, it's all on you. They spend the money. You had John Alario that's been there 48 years, okay? Everybody says he's the grown-up in the room, the magician. Y'all hear me say it all the time. He's the Michael Jordan of the legislature. Yet he's been there. He's been running the show, and we have catastrophe all over. And yet they still keep giving him the football to be the quarterback. I just don't understand that, guys. I really don't.
Do you think it's, the old Rahm Emanuel, don't let a crisis go to waste, and they just keep creating crisis after crisis?
I think it's exactly that. I think what happens is they create the problem, and guess what? Here they are to the rescue again to fix it, although they never really fix it. And, guys, here's my problem. Look, taxes are reality. I'm not anti-tax. I know some people go, you ain't for no tax. I'm not for any more taxes. But I'm not anti-tax. We got to have tax to fix roads. We got to have taxes to help. I think you got to have a good public school system, which is debatable with a lot of people. So I'm not anti-tax. What I am is I'm anti-big tax. And what we have now is every time we hit in a problem, it's Aaron's fault, and your fault, and my fault. In other words, the taxpayer's fault. It's y'all fault. Y'all not just giving us enough. Because here's my question to you. Y'all news people. Y'all follow this stuff just like I do, at least from the news perspective. Okay? My question to y'all is, what's going to change in the legislature? What spending? Okay, we don't have a spending problem. What spending changes that? Are they going to fix the unaccrued liability? What guarantees the roads will be fixed? Because the last road program didn't fix them. So my question to y'all is, what are they going to do different? And the answer is nothing.
We
give them the money, they would do no change.
We had Cedric Glover in about a week and a half ago. In fact, of all the legislators we've had in over the past couple of weeks, each and every one said they were going to vote against the gas tax. You can't find a legislator who's for any tax, and yet...
Yeah, I just think the gas tax is going to come somewhere between a nickel and 12 cents. You're looking at 350. If they do 12 cents, 12 cents, it's $350 million a year for 10 years. That's a $3.5 billion tax increase on us. Okay. What disappoints me is the way they're doing this and the way the press, I'm talking about the print media more than anybody's helping them. They're telling everybody 90 or 95% of the people are not going to pay less taxes. Well, how in the heck do you get all this new tax revenue in if most people, 95% of the people are going to pay less? It doesn't work that way. And I think that's a deception. I call it an outright lie. But it's no way. The meat's in the middle. The middle-class people hold most of the jobs. The middle-class people do most of the work in this state, in this country. The meat's always in the middle. The tax will be a middle-class tax increase. I don't care what anybody says. Stelly proved that.
So you think the gas tax is going to end up being between a nickel and 12 cents? How's about
I think they're passing it. I keep hearing the same thing you're hearing, Robert, but I don't believe them yet. Because remember, they hadn't gone through the 60 days of buying elected officials like they're doing right now. Hilario in the game, they're picking one off at a time. What do you need in the area? What do you need in the area? That's how they're going to pick them off. That's how they always pick them off. Follow the money.
I had read, I guess it was one day last week, and it's one of the bills, one of the proposals, tax on haircuts, tax on lawn care. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that's the cat tax. That's the commercial activity tax.
Explain to me and everybody, what is defined as a commercial activity? Everything.
Well, here's the thing. They're going to define it. And they're going to define things just like you said. Haircuts, lawnmowers, things we never taxed in the past. They want to go after Netflix. They want to go after apps. You know how you download the app from KPEL or now download the app from one of your rate. They want to tax that. So what it is, they keep broadening the tax and raising the tax break. What they're going to do is come back and say, well, we're going to lower the income tax. And that's going to offset all that. But it really is not. The goal is to put more money in Baton Rouge.
You've been watching this stuff for years. When they break up, when all the voting, when everything's done, what do you think is going to be, what new taxes, fees, registrations, et cetera, do you think we in Louisiana will pay?
I feel certain they're going to pass a road tax. If they convinced we got bad roads. The problem is they're not going to fix the roads, and I bet anybody want to bet over a period of time they will not fix the roads because they never did it. I think we'll get a road tax. I know their goal is to get what me and you can't take any more deductions. They keep throwing out only 3 states do that. Okay, that's another goal that they want. They want to get that. They want to pull the 1 cent sales tax off for the income tax increase.
Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show on the road again. Hickson Autoplex in beautiful Alexandria, Louisiana, conjunction with KSYL 970 AM. Our good friends at Sinla Broadcasting, who, by the way, was also an award-winning station as well in several categories. So we congratulate them. And, of course, they got great locations, Hickson and Leesville and Monroe, for you to pick up a vehicle, folks. And he's always ready to help you out. HicksonHasIt.com. HicksonHasIt.com. It's amazing when you talk to the business community. Some of the industries that are struggling. I know car industry has struggled some. Oil and gas has struggled mightily. But if you go around the state, you find some businesses doing well, but you find a lot of businesses struggling because of the economy. And yet the answer is to keep pounding businesses and people in our state. I just don't understand that. You can call it what you want. I'm not going to benefit from having less money. You know, sometimes when you pay taxes, you can benefit for having less money in your pocket. Well, guess what? We're not benefiting from it now. It's kind of a point of no return now. We've been taxed so hard that it becomes a point that there's no return at all. There's zero return. And that's kind of where we are right now. More taxes is not going to help families in the state of Louisiana. You know, it's not. Think about what Edwards has done. Edwards increased the sales tax 1 cent, the highest sales tax in the country. Okay? His constituents who vote for him, a lot of them are poor people. They complained for many, many years that our sales taxes were too high. Do you realize we're the 3rd highest sales tax in the country before they increased the penny? So if they get rid of a penny, we're still going to be in the top 5 of the highest sales tax in the country. But they keep saying poor people, it hurts poor people, middle-class people, lower middle-class people. It hurts them because it takes too much money out of their pocket. Why did Bill Edwards increase that tax? Because, and I try to explain this to the liberal Cousin. I tried to explain this to him. When he told me, well, we got them now they got to negotiate with us. I said, no. By you allowing that money to jump up, and let's just say the 1 cent is $1 billion. It's either 1.2 billion or 900 million, whatever it is, but just say $1 billion. When you negotiated that, you gave the state an extra $1 billion. Now they want that permanent. They just don't want it to be in the sales taxes. They want it to be in income taxes or get rid of deductions or business taxes. They want a more permanent tax from somebody else, from you and me, but they want the money. And when you try to explain it to some people, some of these legislators, and by the way, he was a rookie. He didn't know sheep from wild honey, but he thought he did. Because he's a smart guy, and say he wasn't a smart guy. But he really didn't know what he was talking about. Okay? And the fact is, now that they got that extra $1 billion or $1.2 billion, now they come to us and say, hey, we got to have that now, but we can't have this sales tax. So the pressure goes back on the Republicans. What you going to do about it now? When it really ought to be, well, we just get rid of the sales tax. You added it, let's get rid of it. But they're not going to do that. Oh, you can't cut $1 billion out. Well, we just added it last year. It's a game, folks. It's a game. They set us up so you and me go, well, we can't cut the budget $1 billion. I mean, where are you going to cut? Higher ed health care. And people start wilding. They get people all riled up. This is by design because we do it every year. This is not by an accident. It was set up that way. Because now, just like Stelly, you remember? I'm going to go back to the Stelly bill. The Stelly bill became a permanent income tax and get rid of some deductions, but it was a temporary sales tax on food and utilities that was supposed to gap the budget together, kind of like the sales tax last year. Well, that sales tax, every year or two, they voted and kept it going. They said, well, we got to pass it. So they passed it. They passed it for 16 years, 17 years, and then they decided, you know what? We need to take who taxes food and utilities, which is some of the main, it is the main things that you need to live on. So then they got, well, you know what? We can't have this tax anymore. I mean, we can't tax food and utility. And by the way, poor people that live on food stamps, they don't pay sales taxes on food. There's no sales taxes on it. So really poor people, I'm talking real poor people don't have sales taxes on food. So they weren't hurt anyway. But they came up with this idea. We can raise the income taxes and we could get rid of the deductions. And then they knew that would create way more money than they were giving up. But they didn't tell us that. Jim Beam never told us that. Gannett never told us that. We tried to warn people. So what they did was they found a replacement tax. The difference is they are trying to find a replacement tax on a tax they put on us last year because they've convinced everybody that the biggest problem our state had was when we got rid of the Stelly plan, when we got rid of the income tax. They're trying to convince us that they would have no problems if they would have kept that going, and I'm here to tell you, they'd have spent every penny of that too. And it still have the same problems because they're not changing spending. They're not changing anything they're doing. They're not changing nothing. How come they come to us and they keep pounding on the middle-class workers? This tax that Bill Edwards wants, and Jay Darden put them together, is a middle-class tax whopper. It is a middle tax class knife in the back. You mean to tell me this budget project, this leftist budget project, puts together that 90 or 95% of the people in this state will pay less taxes? That's a lie. That's an outright lie. It's not even an exaggeration. It's a total lie. That's why this gang of 8 that I mentioned earlier, with Abraham leading the charge, these are liberal Republicans. They're trying to say they're mainstream, and they're not. They're not mainstream. They're never going to be mainstream. You really think, I want to know the Einstein out here who could come on a program and show me how 95% of the people in this state are going to pay less taxes, yet they're trying to raise another $1 billion or $2 billion in taxes. Let me ask you a question. Whoever the Einstein is out there, when they do this road tax, do you think middle class people are going to pay road taxes? Everybody pays it. Once again, Edwards and them is so deceptive. And Jay Darden, they're telling people that, oh no, they know he knows he's got to get rid of that 1 cent sales tax. He's going to be beat anyway. He's really going to get beat if he leaves that 1 cent sales tax. And that's what Republicans like Cousin and Abraham and the leaders of this gang of 8, this is the problem. They convince people that we got them. No, they got us. And they take this sales tax. They're using it against us. They want a more permanent tax. And there's only one way to go get that money. Middle class. It's a middle class tax increase. What they're trying to do, cat tax, income tax, every bit of that is to pop the middle class. Who's hurting in our state right now? Middle class. Who's lost the jobs? Middle class. Those all jobs that are gone, most of those were middle class jobs. I know they had some white collar jobs in those things. If you're a company, you own the company, you're making a lot of money. But the people that lost jobs in the oil and gas industry, middle class. The people that lost, how many people that lost their homes were rich or poor or middle class? You want to bet, I'm not a betting person, I always say that. People must think I bet all the time because I say you want to bet. I guarantee you, if they looked at the numbers of people who lost their homes in the flood, 95% of them were middle class. 95% of them were middle class. There's no consideration when they go down here and raise these taxes on those people that lost their homes. There's no consideration on the middle class people that lost their jobs. Do you realize we're the third highest unemployment rate in the country? And do you realize in the South, we spend more money with local and state dollars, tax dollars, than anybody? We got more government and local and state than anybody. We're so far ahead, it's not even funny. And we can't get nothing done because, see, roads aren't fixed because of priorities. Education's not fixed because of priorities. They have no priorities. And this is what's sad. All this tax talk, and that's all we get. What are they going to fix? What are they going to do to change? You got to change your spending habits, and you got to change your spending habits, and I'm going to have to change my spending and driving habits because I got to pay more taxes. They're not going to change one thing. Has Jay Darden came out with the great plan to change anything that they do in the state government? Nope. But he got his $237,500, which, by the way, I figured out he needs a little bit over a year and a half again on that salary. His retirement is based off the $237,500. His ship came in. He's just stepping up to show the liberal that he is. I'm not wrong. I'm sticking to my guns. I'll be proven right every time with these people because they don't change. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline when we get back. Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Opportunity to be a voice here at Hickson Autoplex in beautiful Alexandria, Louisiana. All righty, Brandon, we got a big festival international right around the corner.
Yep, not this weekend. Well, not this week, but the next, Moon.
The next week, and I think it's 5 days, correct?
Yep, April 26th through the 30th. So it'll be
Brandon,
basically, let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 26th to the 30th.
Yeah, they're estimating that over 400,000 people went to this thing. It was voted the best world music festival by About.com readers and their 2012 and 2013's Reader's Choice. So this thing kind of has a little bit of everything for everybody, doesn't it, Brandon?
It really does. I mean, it basically takes all the different cultures in this world that we have, and it brings them all to one area here in Lafayette. And you mix in some of the great musical acts that we have here locally, Gino Delafosse, Buckwheat Zydeco, and it mixes them with musical acts from all over the world, brings them all together, and it's basically concert after concert for the festival goers. They've got multiple stages set up where people can go and enjoy whatever concert they'd like to choose. And then, of course, You've got the local cuisine here that's featured in the festival as well. As we know, Lafayette has some of the best food that you will find anywhere. So when you combine all that together, it makes for a really great time. 31 years going strong here in Lafayette.
Yeah, by the way, Festival International. Brandon also said, if we remember, they're going to blend in a little bit more of the cultural food around the world as well this year. So it's going to kind of have not only the flavors of the band, you're going to have the food flavors from all over the country, all over the world as well.
Yeah, most definitely. And you also want to go check out festivalinternational.org. You can check out where to get the festival passes. It's got all the musical lineups. It's got every question that you would have about the festival answered at festivalinternational.org.
Festivalinternational.org. Trust me, folks, this is one of the best festivals. And you got almost not quite 500,000 people, but it looked like it's starting to approach it. All right, Brandon, thank you so much. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. I'm going to stay with my theme just a little bit longer. I do want to play some. The Democrat in the race for Tom Price's seat doesn't even live in the congressional district. Doesn't even live in a congressional district. They made a big. By the way, check it out on Drudge. We got a piece on that. We're gonna play that a little bit later as well, Brandon. If you'll get that, we'll play that in just a few minutes as well. There was also a bill, House Bill 561, that somebody's trying to pass as a half-cent sales tax. Another half-cent sales tax that $400 million will go to roads. So how you like that? Just think, you live in Lafayette. They at 10% now, over 10%. I mean, Monroe's at almost 11. And if somebody else had said, y'all are 11 cent? Well, just think, but if you lived in, you got that, and just think if, like in Lafayette, they're trying to put another half-cent sales tax. So that would put them at 10.5. Okay, and then the state comes along and does another half-cent sales tax. That'd be 11%. So they're trying to add almost a 1 cent sales tax in just in that area. So they added 1 cent sales tax to everybody. And so Bill Edwards, he knows for re-election. I think he's one-term governor. I'm going to stick with that because I believe that. But he thinks right now, everybody don't understand this. The Democrats and a lot of people that vote Democrat, especially the poor people, they're not going to vote for a governor that increased sales tax 1 cent because they feel that. His whole re-election has got to be on this 1 cent sales tax. You see, if he doesn't get rid of that, he's more toast than what I'm saying. I don't even know if he would run for re-election. I'm just telling you, he's got to have that off because he knows his people are not going to put up with the sales tax being high because that's kind of what they've been crying about anyway. So he knows this. This whole thing, a mixture of all these taxes, is about him being reelected. Jim Beam, deputy press secretary for him. Tyler Bridges, the assistant deputy press secretary for Edwards. And the Advocate and the Gannett newspapers and the Times-Picayune, if they're going to get on board to help Edwards, they need him to pass a bunch of taxes. That's why I keep telling this gang of 8, these Republicans that I'm talking about, who are trying to negotiate our lives away. They know that if they can pass the taxes, this fake revenue estimating conference, call it what it is, it's been fake. By the way, you know who sits on that? John Alario, Jay Darden, Jim Richardson. I mean, those guys sit on this. They guess wrong every year. They totally guess wrong. So this revenue estimating conference will start lowering its figures, and then money will start coming in a little more than they anticipated. And all of a sudden, they're going to be writing, well, look what this man did with this budget. We're not having mid-year budget cuts anymore. We're having surpluses. John Bel Edwards is the king. And that's where they want to get to. Then all of a sudden, the year that we have election, they're going to start trying to fix a few roads, saying, hey, look at the road progress. This man has in the right direction. And every day you're going to hear this. The only way this doesn't happen, if Republicans don't give in to what Edwards and the left and the press wants them to do. And that's why I mentioned the Gang of 8. That's why I mentioned these Republicans, these weak Republicans are trying to do this to it. McGee, Zarang, Davis, Cousin, Dwight, McFarland, and Mr. Abraham, who, by the way, is leading the charge for this. Him and Cousin, Zarang, and McGee are the worst of the 8. They're those Republicans who want so many taxes. They're the ones trying to say they're more mainstream Republicans than everybody else. That's why if you don't watch them, These are the ones that you have to put pressure on. And it's these weak-minded Republicans, and they're weak. They're weak. So this whole thing has to do with politics. It has nothing to do with fixing a state. Would somebody name the representative or senator that's saying if we raise these taxes, we're going to fix this, we're going to fix this, we're going to fix it, except for road tax, which, by the way, they're not going to fix. They never do. They're going to fix the way they spend money. They're going to fix the way they handle the unaccrued liability, the retirement system, which is, I mean, there's no money there, y'all. We have to keep paying it because of the guarantee that we made in the Constitution. Or they're going to change the way they spend money at DOTD. What is the if they get money for roads? What is the change that they're making at DOTD? How do you get a $13 billion backlog and you're not going to make any changes and all you need is more money? Somebody explain that to me. What about health care, which is booming? I mean, booming with growth that we don't have money for. So when are they going to stop spending these non-government organizations? What's the guarantee there? How about, let's see. So we got non-government organizations. How about sending money back to the municipalities, which is not a state function? Just anybody talking about any of these changes? Nope. Because the goal is to see how much they can drain from you and me to keep everything just like it is. They've never. It's no way. You know, it's almost impossible to have a $13 billion backlog on roads. You realize that's. Think about that. That is, you got a road program. You don't fix roads. That's just like the Department of Energy. The Department of Energy was created. Go look at the statement when they did it. To get us off of foreign oil. That was their statement. The Department of Energy. Boy, how does that work? That's worked really good, huh? Will we spend $1 trillion doing that? So what is the purpose of the DOTD? Fix, maintain, supervise roads. And I'm talking to people within the department that tell me, well, ain't none of that's going to happen. They're telling me, better not give them no more money. People that work for them. They're shaking their heads going, it's all about consultants and contracts and politics. Here's another game they play. Here's the roads we're going to fix. They go to the next session, and there's the master, John Alario, says, I tell you what, I'm going to jump your road. So you got these top 10 roads they're going to fix. And they make a political favor with somebody. They kick one of them out and put another road in. They may even start the road. Don't even finish it. That's what's going on. What's the change at DOTD? Somebody tell me what the change is going to be. You can't, because there's nothing going to change. I'm right, and I'm sticking to it. All right, quick break. We'll be back. Oh, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. And we are at Hickson Autoplex. Beautiful Hickson Autoplex. These guys know how to take care of you. I tell you, I've been so pleased dealing with Hickson. And by the way, I don't deal with Dallas. I'm like, well, you can just call. Nope, it's not how it works. I deal with the same salespeople y'all do. I deal with the same financial people y'all do. And they do a wonderful job. And if they got a problem, I can pick up the phone and call them. They service us great. We're really, really pleased to be doing business with Hickson. And I tell you, you will too if you give them a chance. And I know a lot of people that do. And Hickson Autoplex, 3 great locations, Leesville, Monroe, and in Alexandria. We all coming to Leesville. I just visited with Dallas. I'm waiting for the date. And I'm hoping we come within the next at least April or May, because we need to come and visit with the fine folks down there. And we are coming because we did talk about it this morning. And I'll let y'all know when we come in that way. We're looking forward to it, by the way. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. All right. Brandon, you have a piece for me. The Democrat Trump slayer in Georgia, I think it's, Tom Price's seat. And, by the way, the guy doesn't live in the district. Anyway, there's a piece on him. I'm going to play that now, let you listen to it.
Not be able to vote for yourself.
Well, I grew up in this district. I grew up in this community. It's my home. My family is still there. I'm a mile and a half down the street to support Alicia while she finishes medical school. It's something I've been very transparent about. In fact, I'm proud to be supporting her career. And as soon as she finishes her medical training, I'll be 10 minutes back up the road into the district where I grew up.
All right, John Ossoff, we will be watching very closely what happens with you professionally and personally. And we are obviously very interested in this race. Thank you very much for being on New Day.
All right. It's kind of funny. He's kind of a slick politician, the kind you don't want in Washington. he's kind of turned it into, I'm supporting my girlfriend. Now, women out there, look, I'm supporting my girlfriend. I'm over there living with her. I'm over there shacked up with her and supporting her while she's in school, and then I'm coming back. He can't even vote for himself in the district. This is what the Dems put up as the Trump slayer. Can't even vote for himself in his own district because he's not in the district. He doesn't live in the district. I mean, boy, I tell you what, when they slick talk an elected official, nothing worse than anything I've ever seen with stuff like that. It's just, it doesn't surprise me. All the left wants is a victory. Soon as they get a Democrat to win in a Republican district, they're going after Trump. That's all this is about anyway. It's not about the Democrats. They just haven't won anything. They've been losing everything since Barack Obama came on the scene, except for his elections. And I'm still trying to figure out how they voted for him. Well, the press protected him. It's all these Republicans in the race. I'm sure there's and I hadn't followed it as much. I just thought I got a kick out of that. Did y'all see the piece where the college students vote to make the American flag optional? I think it was in Cal Davis. Y'all saw this? UC Davis student. Leaders say American flag display should be optional at meetings. Now, here we are in the United States of America. The university gets money from state and federal government. And the American flag is an issue in the United States of America. The unity in this country for many, many years has been rally around the flag. They rallied around the flag at 9/11. We rallied around the flag at Pearl Harbor. We rallied around the flag in World War I and World War II. We rallied around the flag in every war we ever been in. The flag is a symbol of the United States of America. That's what it's a symbol. It's a symbol of all the people who died for us so we can have the freedoms we have. It's a symbol for the people that fought for us. And these little weak-minded millennials come along, and all of a sudden we're going to make the American flag optional because we don't want to offend anybody. UC Davis Student Senate has made it optional to display the American flag at its meetings, stirring up controversy on a campus and conservative blog. Senate Bill 76 passed Thursday, said Michael Goffman, a student senator who opposed the change. The bill amends the bylaws that require the United States flags to be on display at every Senate meeting in Associated Student University of California, Davis. The revised bylaws give the Senate members the option to petition for the display of the flag 24 hours before each meeting. The ASUCD Senate Pro Tem ultimately has authority to decide whether the U.S. flag would be displayed according to the revision. Why don't they just raise up the Mexican flag or the Iranian flag? Wouldn't that be cool? This is America. Wouldn't that be cool? Just raise up the, how about a Russian flag? Oh, no, that would be associated with Trump. Can't do that. This is America, man. This is what we're debating. These debates have been gone a long time ago. Not in America, baby. We got people that really believe communism is good. We got all kind of people that believe socialism is good, which, by the way, always turns into communism. The resolution says that since the concept of United States of America and patriotism is different for every individual, should not be compulsory, that a flag is in view all the time during a Senate meeting. How can the concept of the United States of America and patriotism be different? We've rallied around that flag every single time there's tragedy. Pearl Harbor. What were we supposed to rally around when Pearl Harbor was hit? The Korean? What were we supposed to rally around? The one thing that kept us coming back together was the United States of America, and that's what the flag represents. It represents who we are. It represents freedom. All these other countries aren't even free. Jose Menendez, who introduced the resolution, said the changes were meant to ensure the student government is following federal law, which he says doesn't allow an organization to mandate displaying the flag. He says it wasn't political in any way. Why don't you leave it? Because it is the United States flag, it's a touchy subject to talk about. We want to make sure we're not sued. What do you mean? The United States flag is not a touchy subject except for ignorant people. The United States flag is not a touchy subject except for people who hate this country. The United States flag should be loved by everybody that's a U.S. citizen, black and white. Don't matter what color you are. They had blacks and whites fight under that flag. They had blacks and whites die under that flag. It's the rallying call for the United States of America. And this guy says it's not political. It's a touchy subject. No, it's not. The only person it's a touchy subject for are the people who hate it, who want to destroy the country. And then it says while he supports freedom of speech, many of the stories are inaccurate. It's not a ban on the flag. And he starts citing Supreme Court decisions. Folks, it's a sad day. A sad day when you got people that are in this country and don't love the country. What country would you love? How many of these people that do this, if we ship them to Iran, would they do that? If we ship them to Iran, would they stand up for what they really believe in? What happens if you ship these people to one of these great countries? What would happen to them? They wouldn't say a word. Because you can't say a word in those other countries. We put up with more BS than any country in the world. The flag has been a rallying cry for the United States of America. They turned the flag into a hate symbol. And all that flag did was unify this country. And all that flag did was help destroy the enemies of us and other countries that we became friends with. It was the unifying thing. That should be the most feared flag and the most respected flag in the world today. But after the Obama saga, it's not. And you got people at these schools where your taxpayers and my taxpayer dollars get that, because I guarantee you they take federal money, which means you and me are paying for that. People died for that little worm. People died for that little worm. I don't even know if that little worm's a citizen. People died for them to have the rights to do the dumbest things they do. No respect for the military. No respect for the flag. No respect for the country. I just wish you could drop them in Iran and say, hey, man, good luck to you. Best of luck in being something in somebody. Drop them in Russia and China. Best of luck being something, being all you can be. We don't understand. We have lost the term and lost the thoughts of what freedom really is. I hate to say this. It sounds so bad. Sometimes you wonder if you need a war every now and then. And that we lose a loved one or even get killed ourselves. Just to remind us of what it takes to be free. That's what happened on 9/11. I remember the tears in the churches. We were reminded how hard it is to get freedom and maintain it. Take a break, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, Hickson Autoplex in Alexandria, Louisiana, conjunction with our good friends at Cinema Broadcasting, and of course, KSWell, L970 AM. We'll be here until 11 o'clock, and I'll tell you, they had all the boudin from Best Stop, and they're down at Atwood Bakeries, and they're wearing that out too. All righty, let's go. Let's try to go to the phone lines now. We will go to Don on the road. Don, good morning.
Hey, Moon. I was just listening to you, and, you're talking about them. He's always going to have some way to raise our taxes. Well, I thought it hit me while you were saying it. Those cats is going to keep raising those taxes because that's how they get their salary. It's through what we pay in, to Louisiana. So we can't worry about it. They don't have to worry about them cutting them taxes. They're going to be raising those because then that way they can get a raise. But
Don,
you said
Don,
about
right.
Go ahead.
I said you're right. Thanks for the call. You're
Yes.
right. But there's a lot more than that. There's projects for their buddies and friends. They got to take care of all of them. It's an enrichment thing to be a legislature, even though people won't talk about it. You can call Me Show and ask him how good it's been to him. So, anyway, appreciate the call. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Oh, people don't understand how good it is. Alario. I mentioned the other one, Francis DeFee Thompson. Those guys that made a killing being in the legislature that long. Their friends have made a killing. Their family members have made killings and on retirement. A lot of them hang around for different reasons. And trust me, it's about the money, one way or the other. Let's go to Woody in Shreveport. Woody, go ahead.
Hey, Bill, how are you, buddy?
Doing fine, sir.
Hey,
go ahead.
you're talking about taxes and raises and all. Well, I've been retired for several years, and you know how much my Social Security raise amounted to for this year?
No, how much?
$5. $5.
Well, you got to look at it this way. You're getting ready to give the state a hell of a lot more than $5.
You're right. Hey, is Tinkerbell Edwards, is he a communist, you think?
No, I'm not going to go that far, but he is a liberal, and he loves taxes.
I'm not accusing. I'm asking. You know, I don't know.
I would say no.
Guy.
I would say no, but I will tell you this. He loves a tax every bit as much as he loves his wife. And I know he loves his wife.
Well, I'm gonna let that one slide. But hey, I enjoy your program, Moon. We think the world of you, and give them hell and see if you can't do something about these taxes.
All right, Woody. God bless. Thanks for the call. 844-766-6607. Hickson has our line. Hey, folks, if you're out there and you really think these taxes and road taxes are going to really go to the roads, please help me out. Maybe a chamber type can call in and say they're going to fix the roads, they're going to be dedicated. I want to hear that because I've seen that before. It didn't work out that way. Maybe somebody can help me out to help me realize how much more money we have to put in higher ed. You know, I saw an article today said, matter of fact, I think it was old Jim Beam. You know, Jim's going to give us information whether it's right or not. And they stating the fact that we cut higher ed $700 million. We didn't raise higher. We didn't cut higher ed $700. Well, really, you can say that, but we made up for it another way. Okay, let me give you an example. Even Beam, and I'm not sure if Beam's numbers are right, is the problem. He says colleges and universities got 59.1% of their funding from the state general fund in the year 2005. But that dropped to 36.3. Okay? So you think that's a big cut. But tuition and fees have gone from funding 32.5% of higher education to 61%. So in other words, they got their money from another source, you and me. That's where all the money's in the middle. I'm trying to explain that to people. So that's not a cut. That's just a different way of getting the money. It's a different way of getting the money, folks. That's all. They're just getting it a different way, but they're still getting the money at higher ed. Let me do this. How many of you people think that everybody that makes six figures at the higher ed, let's use their numbers, 80,000 and above, which is a bunch of them, and a lot of them make six figures. A lot of them retire off to six figures. How many cuts have they taken? How many cuts has higher ed and people that make six-figure salaries, how many cuts have they taken in the last 8 years? And, folks, that's what they don't want to talk about. They're not going to talk about it. You know why? Because they have not taken many cuts personally. Example, the chief officer in education, Louisiana State University, LSU system, in 2012 was making $425,000 a year. 4 years later, in 2016, the same chief officer that was making $425,000 is now making $636,000 a year. Nobody's looking at that. The great Jim Beam's not looking at that. How about this? The chief academic officer was making $235,400 in 2012. Now makes $362,000 a year. Well, who got cut? Here's another one. The chief financial officer was making $165, now making $337,000 a year. Do you get my drift? Where's the cuts? I thought these people were getting cut. I'll come back with this and more. Your calls are welcome. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, of course, we had beautiful Hickson Autoplex in Alexandria, Louisiana. Don't forget one in Monroe and Leesville as well. HicksonHasIt.com. Great website to get in touch with the folks. I brought in Mr. Mike Green. Mike, first of all, good to see you, brother.
Hey, good to see you.
You too, man. Hey, I always talk to Dallas about this, too. Your website is really good. And people can find out everything they need. And if they can't, they can pick up the phone and call somebody, can't they?
Absolutely. You know, they can look at every single model we have in stock. As a matter of fact, they can even see all of our pre-owned. We've got over 100 quality pre-owned vehicles in stock right now. That's a lot of vehicles.
There's no doubt about it. But and by the way, people that are not looking to buy a brand new one, it's a great way to buy a vehicle. I know, like me, I'm looking up. I got one going to be 16 this year.
Oh, yeah.
And y'all love the fact that people go buy vehicles for 16. I'm trying to figure out, are we crazy? But I'm going to have to buy one for them because as I was telling them, I said, boy, I can't wait for you to drive. You drive me crazy. Go get you, go pick you up, go bring you. They're so busy. And, but that's the kind of stuff that helps people too, because everybody can't buy a brand new one, but you got a lot of those too.
Absolutely. Like I said, we've got over 100 to choose from, and we just hope you keep on having more kids, man, so you can buy more cars from us.
Don't do that to me, Mike. Let me tell you something. Between me and my wife, if we have one now, we're going to name him Jesus. It's going to be a miracle, brother. No, but you got the pre-owned, but you got everything y'all got on the website as well, all your brand new vehicles, because you do carry some different lines in the different stores. Now, Ford being your big one. But
Absolutely.
Still, Lincoln is a big one.
That's correct.
And y'all got a lot of different vehicles that y'all do carry.
Yeah, we've got, of course, we've got BMW up in Monroe, you know, if you're looking for a good high-end luxury vehicle. And then over in Leesville, we've got our Toyotas. We've got an incredible selection over there on those Toyotas, good product also. And here in Alexandria, we also carry the Mazda line. And Mazda is really a special vehicle. They've come a long way. They got some really exciting new models out right now. And by the way, Moon, I just want to congratulate you.
Oh, God.
On
here we
your
go.
new 2017 Expedition. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you announcing that, Mike. Yeah, it was the day. I tell people all the time, you know, buying a vehicle it was for some people they love it. For me, it's tough.
Oh, it took a while. How long have we been working you on this?
It's been months, and you know, we were being particular in a lot of ways. Of course, we like everybody else, we watch it at dollars, but we're looking forward to it. Actually, my bride will be driving that more than me.
That's good.
You know, we hadn't grown in the family, but we've grown in size.
I understand.
So you have to have something a little nicer, and a little
right.
bit bigger, though. We're looking forward to driving. I'm looking forward to driving at home.
Yeah. Now, one thing we've also, you know, one thing I do want to talk about on the Expeditions right now, we've got up to $12,000 off on them. It's really a good time to buy an Expedition. And we've also got 0% on several models in stock, Ford, Mazda, Toyota, BMW. I mean, it's just a great time to buy a car, man. There's no reason not to.
No doubt. And we finished tax day, so you ought to have your money now ready to roll.
I'm glad that's over.
That's always fun, huh?
Yeah.
They say you pay your taxes all the way to the end of May now, so you're not done paying your taxes. You're just done filing them from last year.
Yeah, that's great.
Anyway, Mike Green. Mike, what do you do here?
I'm the general sales manager here, and you know, I just invite everyone in Central Louisiana and Louisiana in general to come and visit us down here. And you know, if you can't make it down here, go to our website, HicksonHasIt.com. You know, we're going to do everything we can to help you out and make sure we treat you like. Well,
I hear a lot of good things on the website because I know people all over the state that has bought and used y'all. I had a young lady here. She had been on the air with us before. They put her back on. She had a service job, and she would just come out bragging about it. So I thought that was a good deal.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Green, thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
I'll tell Dallas you filled in nicely.
All right.
All righty. Thank you very much. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. I want to go back to what I said. We're going to post this on the website again. Okay? Higher ed. Jim Beam, another piece. Quit cutting higher ed. But Jim doesn't grab anything. How many people in higher ed that you know of that lost their six-figure jobs? How many people in higher ed have really lost their jobs, have been cut or fired? You don't hear anything about that because nobody's getting fired because there's plenty of money to take care of the salaries. I want to go over this again. I'm going to put it on the website again. I've done it before, but I'm going to reintroduce it. The chief officer. Now, remember, we went through all these budget cuts. Bean made sure in his article, 9 years of budget cuts. 9 years of cutting higher ed. Okay. If higher ed got so many cuts, we should be seeing firings. People ought to be saying, well, they cut my job, they cut my pay. But let me tell you the pay they didn't cut. The chief officer for the LSU system in 2012, this is 2017 for you people in Balkanville, the salary for the chief officer was $425,000. In 2016, the chief officer is now making $636,000, an 89% increase. Here's my question. I thought we were having budget cuts. I thought higher ed was hurting. And we can't cut it anymore, according to Jim Beam. How can somebody go from $425,000, which, by the way, in this state is almost 10 times what the average family makes? Now they make $636,000. Here's another one. The chief academic officer in 2012, when all the budget cuts were coming, they made $235,472. Sound like a pretty good salary to me. Now, the one that was making $235,000 now makes $362,000. I'm not making this up, folks. You can read about it yourself. You can read about the whole thing. Here's another one for you. You ready for this? The chief finance officer. Okay? The chief finance officer was making $165,000 a year. Remember now, we're in education, all these cuts. We can't cut them anymore. The chief officer, finance officer, went from $162,000 to $337,000 a year from 2012 to 2016. But we have all these cuts in higher ed. We have all these cuts. They act like everybody's getting fired. We can't pay anybody. We can't have no higher ed. We can't hire quality people. We're cutting everything. According to Mark Abraham, the liberal Republican. Oh, well, you higher ed and economic development go together. Folks, they're making a killing in higher ed. There's people retiring in higher ed with six-figure salaries. There's people in higher ed making tons of money. And y'all want to keep giving them money? How can these people make this kind of money? And all I've ever read is how we've had cuts and cuts and cuts, but they hadn't been cut. And I'm telling you, those salaries of those from the presidents, none of that's getting cut. They get more money. They give them pay raises. I'm giving you the facts. These are facts. I didn't make these up. This is fact. We're going to have it on the Moon Griffon Facebook for you to check it out. The increases in some of these salaries are phenomenal. Matter of fact, from the chief officer, the chief academic officer, the chief financial officer, the chief information officer, and the public information officer, you know what their salaries of these 5 people are a year? You ready? $1.78 million a year in salaries for those 5 people. The chief academic officer, chief financial officer, what pay raise they've gotten. And you worried about them having enough money? You can't cut none of those people. Let's take a break. Last break, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Brandon, I think Bill Cassidy's trying to call in. So I just want to let you know that. I know that the lines have been jammed up, but anyway, check it out for me if you can. 844, let me know if we get him on. 844-766-6607. has that hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Hey, don't forget my good friends at Stein. Y'all know I brag about my friends at Stein, and I've been bragging about Stein for a long time, and I love working with Stein. They are one of those great Louisiana companies I like to brag about. And the great thing about Stein is there's 12 locations around the state of Louisiana and Natchez, Mississippi. It's easy to get to for almost anybody in the state. And maybe not the Northeast or Northwest. Well, Northwest you get to pretty easy as well. But Stein has everything for you. What's great about Stein is they're always running sales. They're always running sales. SteinHome.com. SteinHome.com is the place you need to go. Paint sales, sales on your equipment, heavy-duty equipment like lawnmowers. You need mulch, you need flowers, you need plants. They got it all at Stein. If you go to the website, I always want you to go to the website because when you go to the website, you're going to get excited about Stein. You're going to get excited when you go there, too, because they're going to take care of you. They always take care of you. They are really about 1,000 employees. They're one of those companies where we keep all the money right here at home. They're hiring good people right here in Louisiana and Mississippi. But let me tell you something. The drive-through lumber yard is second to none. They've got, 2,700 brands they've cut prices on during the year. There's always a sale there. You can always find something at Stein. And I'm telling you right now, everything from your home and yard, when they say that, they mean it. Better brands and lower prices because they have the best brands. They got all the big brand names. Stein, trust me, these people know what they're doing, and they're all about servicing you. All right, let's jump gears. I think Senator Bill Cassidy joins us. Bill, how you doing?
I am good. How are you, Moon?
Man, I'm doing fine. First of all, let me apologize for the delay. I've been on the road, and that always makes it a little difficult.
Hey, man, whenever you got a lot of people calling in, that's a good thing. You know, people want to be heard. That's a good thing.
Well, it's not that as much as me being on the road. But anyway, hey, first of all, talk a little bit about the new Supreme Court justice, because I'm excited about it.
It is so good. I can tell you, Trump wants to reshape the federal bench. And Democrats set the stage when they went to the nuclear option a few years ago. And so if we're speaking about district courts and appellate courts, we're going to reshape it. Now, then Trump puts up Gorsuch, who is about the most reasonable conservative, very conservative, but he doesn't stick a finger in your eye. 97% of his decisions have been upheld by, were unanimous and or upheld by the Supreme Court if they were challenged. And all of a sudden, Democrats decide they're going after this guy. Mitch McConnell put it well. If Democrats can't accept Neil Gorsuch, there is no nominee put up by a Republican that a Democrat can accept. And so, frankly, we pulled the trigger. We got the guy elected, let's say we, the Republicans in the Senate, and Trump made a great pick for the Supreme Court.
By the way, I noticed ever since the pick was made and done, Democrats have been really quiet on this. Now, you read things like, well, they're going to use it in the next campaign. Let them use it. People voted for Trump. They voted for Trump to be president. How are they going to make an argument when we gave them all of Obama's? And I question some of the ones we gave to Obama. But how in the world that they've been really quiet. And I think they got it put back in their face myself.
I think that they actually made the worst decision. They made the absolute worst decision. They came to Republicans and said, let's bargain. We'll give you Gorsuch if you let us have veto power over the next nominee. And we're thinking, we got the votes for Gorsuch. We don't need you. This guy's eminently qualified. If you're going to hold him hostage, you're going to hold anybody hostage. And so I think they just made the absolute worst decision. Now, frankly, Trump can put up people who are more kind of offensive to the left, that the left absolutely hates, but we only need 51 votes to confirm them. I think they've set the stage for their own problem.
No doubt about it. I'm so proud of the Republican senators, you guys that voted this way. I'm proud we did that. I think it was the best thing we could have done. I get mad at y'all a lot, Bill. I'm not saying you particularly, but mad at some of the things we do. But everybody ought to be happy about this. They ought to be celebrating. I know Democrats have kind of stuck their head in the sand on it now, and I'm like you. I think they know they messed up. Hey, move on to health care. Are we going to get a second run at this thing, change this? Because nothing's been done. I'm really concerned about me being able to buy health care at all next year.
Yeah, we're going to get a second run at it, and you just put your finger on it, Moon. a reporter will come and say, "Oh my gosh, it fell through. Does that mean nothing happened?" No. Vents are in the saddle. Obamacare is so bad that the insurance markets are just going to turn upside down. Trump calls it exploding. They're going to explode, and a lot of Americans are going to be hurt. And Obamacare has set the stage. So we've got to address it, and it will be addressed. We will have to do something to make sure that Obamacare just doesn't hurt too many Americans.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm talking about more about people like me who just can't afford what they've done, Bill. And I think there's a lot more like me than there are out there, people getting freebies, subsidies that they're worried about. I think there's a lot of small business owners like me that just, I have no more direction. If they take any more, I'm going to have to sell a house and we're going to have to live in a 2-room shack because how do you keep doing that, you know?
So I was down at Martin's Wine Cellar a month or so ago and stopped in for lunch, and there was a table there, began to speak with the table. And one of the women, she says, "Listen, I'm a Democrat. I really like Obamacare and this and that." And I know enough about this. I said, well, you realize that for Obamacare to happen, there's somebody else who's paying a $30,000 a year premium. The other man at the table goes, "I'm paying about $32,000." I'm saying, wait,
that's me.
$32,000 a year. And so when you mention that's a mortgage payment, that's a paying cash for a new car, that is a lot more you can do with it. And the guy says, "Listen, yeah, I'm one of these people paying $30,000 a year." I said, "Well, this is not sustainable." So I'm glad that you have your coverage. It's important we have coverage. On the other hand, we cannot sustain it because we know if it's $30,000 this year, next year it's 33, the next year it's 36, the next year it's 40. That is not palatable.
Well, let me say it again. The $32,000 is what I pay in my premiums on insurance per year. And I'm telling you right now, that's twice a house note that I would ever have. And it's not sustainable. And people that say they're happy with it is normally because they're getting something for free or we're subsidizing them. And I'm telling you, I don't want nobody to subsidize me. Just let me go out and compete, and I hope that's going to change. One other thing, or a couple other things real quick, tax cuts. Is that something we'll see in the next, this year? You think we'll get some breaks? Do you think, what do you think will come of that?
I think there'll be tax reform. Right now, there's a lot of businesses, corporations moving overseas because tax rates are much cheaper overseas. And so they're taking jobs with them. They're taking other tax revenue with them. There's a lot of folks getting loopholes that allow them to reduce their tax burden, but others, frankly, are paying probably more than they should be. And so there will be tax reform. I don't know if it'll be in August. I suspect it might be in fall. It could even slip into next year. But I think there will be tax reform.
I've told our audience I'm not worried about North Korea at all. I think they showed when they fired a missile that blew back and didn't do it. They're more propaganda, and I'm not saying they're not dangerous, but the propaganda that comes out of these leftist little rogue countries are phenomenal. You never know what they're telling the truth or not. Most of the time they're bluffing. And I'm not really worried about war with North Korea. That's what I'm telling our audience. I just don't see anything like that happening. Just your thoughts on what's taking place over there. But Trump showed that he's not backing up from these rogue countries.
Did you see the John McCain tweet? John McCain.
I did not see McCain.
Yeah, McCain said something about a crazy little fat guy. And so the people in North Korea got upset. McCain tweeted out, "What am I supposed to say? Crazy little thin guy?" He's a crazy little guy, and he drinks too much, and he's paranoid. And so, in one sense, if he's willing to kill his stepbrother in an airport in Malaysia, or take people, sneak across the border of South Korea and take people as captives, he can cause some mischief. We got to be concerned about him. But I agree with you. I think we have the ability to contain the fellow as he is now. That said, one of the concerns is he's collaborating with Iran. And so supposedly North Korea and Iran are helping helping each other both with missile delivery and with nuclear testing. So some feel like Iran just moved their nuclear testing to North Korea.
Yeah. Senator Bill Cassidy, thank you so much, sir. We'll do it again. We'll do it again soon.
Thank you, Moon.
All righty. Senator Bill Cassidy. All right. Quick 22-hour break. Back in studio tomorrow. God bless. Have an awesome day. HicksonHasIt.com when you want your next vehicle. We'll take a break of 22 hours and be right back.